If you're running your projects and you can't seem to get consistency or good results, or you can't seem to remember how to duplicate some good action that you did 6 months ago or even 2 years ago, well, this is how I'm gonna help you know to properly document the things that work in your business so that you and your team members can duplicate them in the future. Number one, you gotta document successful actions. And this is extremely important. It's the most important point out of all those four here, because those successful actions will have the ability of also repeat and be a successful action in the future, but only if you properly document it. As soon as something happens that results in a success, just document it so that you can add as much details in a very concise manner as possible. And then you can repeat that successful action in the future and have other team members around you be part of it as well and succeed in your endeavors in your company or your project. Number two, make it concise, succinct, to the point. This is extremely important because when you have a lengthy document, then chances are your team members are not going to go through all that document, especially if it's for a simple process. And also, chances are that if you're trying to encourage your team members to develop processes, if your processes are set to be very lengthy, then you won't get as much agreement from your team members to document and do process. So make it very concise. You want to make sure that you have bullet points in there, straight to the point, to what is the step that you gotta do in that particular moment, and on to the next one, and on to the next one. Just keep the flow and keep it moving. Number three, make sure you have structure, and that is structure in a way where you explain the reason, who's involved, and then the before, during, and after steps. And what do I mean with each of these sections? At the very beginning, you want to let the reader know the reason this process exists. Then you go into who is involved in the execution of that process, who is involved on a managerial level, and then last, you have your steps. This is where you list the very concise, bulletized steps. You start with a before, what needs to be in place before I start executing this step, right? So before I start cleaning this table, I gotta make sure I have the right tools so that I can properly clean this table. Then during, you go through what are the steps that you take to execute and perform that activity. And then after, what do I do after all these steps are completed? Well, I go to my CRM system, I document this, I make this call. What are the things that you do once all the steps are completed? And then fourth, make sure that you understand that this is a live document that is gonna evolve as you and your team and your organization evolves. Like, this document is intended to be amended with new technologies, new updates, new ideas, or someone came in very open-minded and had this idea to incorporate this technology that now got rid of 4 steps that you have in there, and now you can do it way faster. So it is intended to be a live document. Don't take it to heart. That is your process that you developed 15 years ago and nobody can change it. Don't be so selfish. Now, if you realize your team is not challenged, is not producing, is not motivated on the job, make sure to watch this video right now where I teach you how to set targets for your team that are gonna keep them engaged and challenged.